Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. You may have heard that there are laws being enacted around the country that prohibit public schools from making white children feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress on account of his or her race. And Virginia's governor just opened a tip line so that parents can report teachers mentioning anything, quote, divisive. Well, if they want a model for this, they would just need to turn to the history book that was used in Virginia in the 50s through the 70s. Here are some of the lines. The tasks of each house slave were light. They learned much about the finer things of life. The house servants took great deal of pride in their comfortable positions. The field hands were given a rest period at noon, usually for 1 to 3 hours, and those who were too old or sick to work in the fields were not forced to do so, and the task system gave them free hours after they finished their daily tasks. The slaves liked Virginia food, Virginia climate, Virginia ways of living. Those who went to Liberia were homesick. Many longed to get back to the plantations. Life among the Negroes of Virginia in slavery times was generally happy. The Negroes went about in a cheerful manner, making a living for themselves and for those for whom they worked. And voila, you have a no-guilt history for fragile white people. Enter Harriet Ann Jacobs, born into slavery in 1813, and credited as the first black woman to write a full-length book. Her perspective is a little different, as you can imagine. Now, she starts out, interestingly, she said, as a child, through age 6, she felt fondly shielded, such that she never dreamed that she was a piece of merchandise. And her mistress actually did teach her to read and write, but upon her death, she was then transferred as property to that woman's niece, who, since she was only 3 years old, the gentleman of the family then took control, literally. This man would cause a great deal of vulgar misery. Harriet had to thwart repeated sexual advances made by her master for years, finally before escaping to the north. This is her book, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, that was published in 1861. Some of the quotes clearly do not line up with this fragile history. But to the slave mother, New Year's Day comes laden with particular sorrows. She sits on her cold cabin floor, watching the children who may be torn from her the next morning. And often she does wish that she and they might die before dawn comes. She wrote, "When they told me my newborn babe was a girl, my heart was heavier than it had ever been before. Slavery is terrible for men, but it is far more terrible for women." Harriet Ann Jacobs then did escape slavery at age 27, and she fled to the north, where she spent her life running a boarding house, worked as a seamstress, and was an activist helping to organize meetings of the National Association of Colored Women. As I said, she's credited as the first black woman to write a book-length narrative, and at 84, her life, when she died, stands as a testament to women everywhere who struggle for freedom and survival, demand dignity and respect, and refuse to settle for any less than equal representation and full participation in society. But should we not forget, she said, death is better than slavery. And she also said, a warning for our times, cruelty is contagious in uncivilized communities. Pray for our civilization, and pray you have a grateful day. Bye. Harriet Ann Jacobs, look her up.